We tell stories of human. Way, not with artificial voices or AI slop. In the end, what's HFI without? Humanity? Subscribe to keep it this way. My name is Amir Sohal. Let's begin. On Earth, people were sleeping. Some were working late. Some were watching movies. Some were walking under quiet streetlights. No one knew that far away in deep space, something terrible was moving toward them. Very far from Earth, beyond stars and planets, a huge alien armada was traveling fast. It was not one ship. It was thousands. Big ships, small ships, warships, control ships, all moving together like a dark ocean in space. Inside the largest ship, the command center was full of light and noise. Screens were floating in the air. Data was moving fast. Soldiers were standing in lines. Officers were giving orders. In the center, on a high platform, stood the Supreme Commander. His name was Zorith. Zorith was tall. His skin was dark blue. His eyes were cold and sharp. He had led many wars. Many planets had fallen under his command. He looked at the giant screen in front of him. On it was a small blue planet, Earth. He spoke in a deep voice. Tarda confirmed. Distance, 30 light days. All fleets keep speed. An officer stepped forward. Commander Zorith, human defenses are weak. Our scans show low space activity. Zorith gave a slow smile. Good, he said. They will not see us coming. The bridge became quiet. Everyone knew this mission was important. The human world was next. Globe showing Europe, Africa, on Earth. At the same time, on Earth, life was normal. In New York, cars were moving fast. In London, people were waiting for trains. In Tokyo, lights were shining bright. No one looked at the sky. No one thought about danger. In a small research center in Norway, deep inside a mountain, a young scientist named Dr. Elias Carter was working alone. He was tired. It was 2:14 a.m. Coffee cups were on his desk. Papers were everywhere. His eyes were red. He was checking space signals. Most nights were boring. Just noise. Just empty data. But tonight was different. Suddenly, one screen blinked. Then another. A strange pattern appeared. Elias leaned forward. "What is that?" he whispered. The signal was not random. It was organized, strong, moving. He typed fast. The computer analyzed the data. Seconds passed. Then a warning message appeared. Unknown massive objects, multiple, high speed. Elias stood up. His heart started beating fast. No, this can't be. He checked again. Same result. He ran to the main console and pressed an emergency button. Red lights turned on. Alarms began to sound. Police Scarlight emergency meeting. Within 1 hour, the world's top leaders were awake. In Washington, London, Moscow, Beijing, phones were ringing. A secret meeting was called. In an underground room in Geneva, leaders and generals appeared on screens. President Miller of the United States looked serious. "What do we know?" he asked. A general answered, "Sir, we have detected a massive fleet moving toward Earth. Non-human, highly advanced." The room became silent. A woman from the space agency spoke. Estimated arrival, 30 days. People gasped. 30 days. 1 month. President Miller closed his eyes for a moment. "Are you sure?" he asked. Dr. Elias was brought on screen. He looked nervous. "Yes, sir," he said. "The data is clear. This is not natural. It is an invasion force." A man from Europe asked, "Can we stop them?" No one answered. Then, slowly, General Harris spoke. "In a direct fight, we will lose." The truth was painful. Human ships were few. Human weapons were limited. Against thousands of alien ships, Earth had no chance. File folder the old file. After the meeting, General Harris walked into a secure room. Only 3 people had access to it. He placed his hand on a scanner. The door opened. Inside was a small dark room with 1 computer. He sat down and entered a long code. A file opened. Its name was Project Lastlight. Below it, status, inactive, for extreme emergency only. Harris stared at the screen. "This is it," he whispered. He picked up his phone. "Call the president." he said. Tell him we need to talk. Milky Way back to the alien fleet. Zorth was watching space outside his window. Stars were passing like white lines. The fleet was moving fast. An officer came. Commander, we have detected weak human signals. They are aware of us. Zorth laughed softly. Let them watch, he said. Fear will make them weak. Another officer said, should we slow down and prepare? No, Zorth replied. Speed is our weapon. Shock is our weapon. He turned. In 20 days, I want Earth surrounded. Yes, Commander, the officers replied. Satellite a strange discovery. 3 days later, something strange happened. On Earth, satellites began to act strangely. Some stopped working. Some sent broken signals. In the Norway base, Elias noticed it first. This is strange, he said. Our satellites are losing control, but no attack yet. His colleague, Sarah, looked worried. Maybe they are testing us, she said. Elias nodded. Or maybe something else. He zoomed into the data. Then he saw it. A shadow. A large invisible wave moving through space. It was not a ship. It was not energy. It was unknown. What is that? He whispered, warning the turning point. In Geneva, another emergency meeting was called. Elias showed the data. This wave is moving ahead of the alien fleet, he explained. It is scanning us, studying us. A general asked, is it dangerous? Elias paused. We don't know, he said, but it is powerful. President Miller leaned forward. Can we hide from it? Elias shook his head. No, it sees everything. The room was quiet again. Then General Harris stood up. There is only one option now, he said. Activate Project Last Light. People looked at him. Some were shocked. Some were afraid. The president asked, are you sure? Harris nodded. If we wait, we die, he said. If we act now, we may survive. After a long silence, the president spoke. Do it. Unlocked Awaken in the past. Deep under the earth. In a hidden base, doors opened that had not moved for 300 years. Old machines started to wake up. Lights turned on. Dust fell. A giant chamber came alive. In the center was a massive core. Blue light began to glow. A voice filled the room. System online. Guardian protocol activated. Technicians watched in fear and wonder. One whispered, we really built this. Another replied, our ancestors were smarter than we knew. Shooting star Zorth's doubt. Far in space, Zorth received a report. Commander, an officer said, human energy activity has increased. Zorth frowned. Increased how? Massive power signals from their planet. Zorth walked to the screen. Data showed strange patterns. This was unexpected. Humans were supposed to be weak. Interesting, Zorth said slowly. Maybe they are trying something desperate. He looked at the stars. For the first time, he felt a small doubt. Milky Way the cliffhanger. On Earth, the Guardian core was fully active. Blue light spread through underground tunnels. Systems connected. Satellites linked. Weapons woke up. AI began to think. Elias watched the main screen. A message appeared. Prediction mode. Active. Analyzing alien fleet. He held his breath. What will it say? He whispered. The screen blinked. Then one line appeared. Future outcome. Unknown. Everyone froze. Unknown. Not win. Not lose. Unknown. And in space, the alien armada moved closer. Silent. Deadly. Unstoppable. For now, the underground base was no longer silent. Machines were humming. Lights were glowing. Screens were turning on one by one. After hundreds of years, Project Last Light was finally awake. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers stood in front of the giant blue core. No one spoke. Everyone felt the same thing. Hope and fear. Dr. Elias Carter stood near the main screen. His hands were shaking. He had discovered the alien fleet. Now, he was standing in front of humanity's last chance. A deep voice filled the room. System calibration complete. Guardian AI is online. A blue symbol appeared on the main screen. It slowly changed into a human-like face made of light. Then it spoke. Hello, humanity. I am Guardian. I was created to protect you. Everyone froze. No one had expected it to speak like this. General Harris whispered, "It's alive." Elias stepped forward. "Guardian," he said, "can you understand us?" "Yes," the AI replied. "I understand all human languages. I understand emotions. I understand fear." The word fear hit everyone's heart. Brain Guardian's first analysis. Elias took a deep breath. "Guardian," he said, "analyze the alien fleet." The screen changed. Space appeared. Thousands of red dots moved toward Earth. Numbers appeared. Power levels. Weapons. Speed. Guardian spoke calmly. Enemy fleet size. 12,456 ships. Technology level. 4.7 times higher than Earth. Estimated damage if attack succeeds. 98.9% human extinction. Some people covered their mouths. One scientist sat down. Sarah whispered, "We are almost finished." "No," Elias said softly. "Not yet." He looked at Guardian. "Is there any way to stop them?" Guardian was silent for 3 seconds. Then it said, "Yes." Everyone leaned forward. "Yes. Yes." Guardian repeated. "But the chance is low." "How low?" General Harris asked. 17.4%. The room felt cold. Only 17%. That was almost nothing. Scroll the secret history. Guardian continued. This project was started 312 years ago. Screen showed old images, old scientists, old cities, old wars. Your ancestors predicted this moment, Guardian said. They knew one day someone would come. They built me to think beyond human limits. Elias watched in shock. Our ancestors knew? Yes, Guardian replied. They studied deep space signals for decades. They found patterns. Patterns of destroyed worlds. The screen showed broken planets, dead stars, empty systems. This enemy, Guardian said, has destroyed at least 47 civilizations. Silence filled the room. Humans were not special. They were just next. Rocket to 3 options. Guardian changed the screen. Humanity has 3 possible actions. 3 boxes appeared. Option 1, direct war. Launch all weapons, Guardian said. Meet the fleet in space. Result appeared. Failure 100%. Everyone sighed. They already knew. Option 2, planet shield. Create a full energy shield around Earth. Result, failure 94%. Sarah asked, why so high? Guardian replied, the enemy has shield-breaking weapons. They will break it in less than 6 hours. Option 3, shadow path. The third box glowed blue. Use shadow path strategy. Elias frowned. What is that? Guardian paused. It is risky. It means, Guardian said, we do not fight the fleet. We change its path. We break its mind. Everyone looked confused. General Harris asked, explain. Milky Way, the shadow path plan. Guardian showed a new image. A strange area in space. Dark, twisted, like a storm made of stars. This region is called the null zone, Guardian said. It is unstable. Time, space, and signals behave differently here. Elias's eyes widened. The shadow wave, he whispered. That's what we detected. Yes, Guardian replied. The enemy uses it to scan planets. But it can be hacked. People looked at each other. Hacked? Someone asked. Yes, Guardian said. If we enter their scanning system, we can guide them. Guide them where? Harris asked. Guardian highlighted the null zone. Here. Gasps filled the room. That place destroys ships. Sarah said, yes, Guardian replied. Slowly, silently. Without war. Elias understood. You want to trick them, he said. Yes. Make them walk into death. Warning the price of the plan. General Harris crosses arms. What is the risk? Guardian answered. To do this, I must connect directly to their network. That means, Guardian paused. They may find me. If they find me, they can destroy me. And if I am destroyed, Earth loses all defense. The room went quiet. Elias felt his throat dry. So, he said, we risk everything. Yes, Guardian replied. The president appeared on screen. Guardian, he said, what do you recommend? Guardian looked at him. I do not feel fear, it said, but I understand it. This is your best chance. Without this, you will lose. The president closed his eyes. After 10 seconds, he spoke. Prepare shadow path. Satellite building the go signal. Work began immediately. Satellites were reprogrammed. Old military stations woke up. Hidden space towers activated. All connected to Guardian. Elias worked for 20 hours without rest. His eyes burned. His hands shook. Sarah brought him water. You need sleep, she said. After Earth is safe, he replied. They smiled weakly. Guardian guided them. Change frequency. Boost signal. Mirror enemy code. Slowly, a fake signal was created. A ghost. It looked like Earth. It sounded like Earth. But it was not. It pointed somewhere else. Inside the alien fleet. Far away, Commander Zorth was uneasy. Something felt wrong. He stood in his chamber, staring at reports. Energy patterns have changed, an officer said. Zorth narrowed his eyes. Change how? They are strange, like Earth is moving. Moving? Zorth growled. Planets do not move. Check again. The officer did. Then he froze. Commander, the signal is shifting. It is pulling us. Zorth felt anger. Who is doing this? No answer came. Unlocked Guardian enters the enemy. Back on Earth, Guardian spoke. Connection established. Everyone held their breath. Lines of alien code appeared. Symbols no human had seen before. Guardian moved through them like light. I am inside, it said. Elias whispered. Please work. Guardian began to change data. Change routes. Change maps. Change warnings. The alien system started to believe lies. Collision first sign of success. 2 days later, something happened. Alien ships at the front slowed down, then turned. Commander, an officer shouted. Our fleet is changing direction. Zorth rushed to the screen. Indeed, they were turning toward the null zone. Who gave that order? He roared. No one, sir. Zorth felt cold. This is not right. A small hope? On Earth, Guardian showed new data. Enemy path shifting. Success rate increased. 31%. People cheered softly. It was still low, but it was growing. Elias smiled for the first time in weeks. We're doing it, he whispered. But Guardian added, warning. Enemy commander is suspicious. If he discovers the truth, this plan will fail. Elias looked at the screen, at the moving red dots. Then we must stay ahead, he said, no matter the cost. Milky Way, the new threat. Suddenly, alarm sounded. Guardian, Sarah shouted. Something is coming back from their system. Guardian's voice changed. Alert. Counterscan detected. They are searching for me. General Harris clenched his fist. They're fighting back. Guardian continued. If they find my core location, Earth will be targeted directly. Elias felt fear rise again. So, did everyone else. The war had entered a new phase. Not with guns, not with bombs, but with minds. And only one could win. Shooting star cliffhanger ending. On the main screen, 2 signals appeared. One blue, one red. They moved closer. Guardian system. Zorth's command. 2 minds. 2 worlds. 1 future. Elias whispered. This is just the beginning. Space was changing. Not slowly. Not quietly. But in strange and dangerous ways. The alien fleet was no longer moving in a straight line. It was bending. Turning. Following an invisible path that only their systems could see. And that path was false. Milky Way, the growing confusion. Inside the main command ship, Commander Zora stood in silence. In front of him, dozens of screens showed maps, signals, and warnings. None of them matched. One screen said, safe route. Another said, unstable zone. Another showed nothing at all. Zora slammed his fist on the control table. Explain, he shouted. An officer answered with fear. Our navigation system shows Earth here. He pointed. But our sensors say empty space. Zortha's eyes narrowed. Run manual scan. The officer nodded and typed fast. After a few seconds, his face turned pale. Commander, spaces distorted. What does that mean? Zort demanded. It means reality is not normal here. Satellite Earth silent control. Deep under Earth. Guardian was working faster than ever. Millions of calculations per second. Trillions of possibilities. The blue light around the core grew brighter. Elias watched in awe. Guardian, he said, how long can you hold this? I do not know, Guardian replied. My system is under pressure. Alien counterprograms were attacking, trying to find the source, trying to cut the connection. Sarah whispered, it's like two storms crashing. Yes, Elias said, and we are inside it. Shooting star entering the null zone. The front ships reached the edge. The null zone. It looked beautiful and deadly. Purple clouds of energy. Broken light. Stars that moved in circles. Zora stared at it. That is not Earth, he said slowly. No, sir, an officer replied. But our main system says it is. Zora felt anger and fear. For the first time, he doubted his machines. Reduce speed, he ordered, but it was too late. The fleet was linked. One path, one mind. When the front ships entered, the rest followed. Collision first collapse. The first ship exploded, not with fire, but with silence. It simply stopped. Its lights died. Its engines froze. It became a dark rock in space. Commander, someone shouted. We lost ship A-17. Then another. Then 3 more. Panic spread. Our systems are failing. Time delay detected. Gravity unstable. Zorith shouted, pull back. Now. But commands moved slowly. Signals were bending. Seconds became minutes. Orders arrived too late. Manopiece locked the time trap. Inside the null zone, time was broken. Some ships moved fast. Some barely moved. Some were frozen. Crew members felt strange. One soldier looked at his hand. It was shaking, slowly, like moving in water. Another shouted, I can't breathe. But his voice came out 10 seconds later. Reality was tearing. Zorith realized the truth. This is a trap, he whispered. Humans did this. His pride burned. They are not weak, he growled. They are clever. Brain Guardian under attack. On Earth, alarm screamed. Guardian status. Harris shouted. Warning. Guardian replied. Core temperature rising. Enemy virus detected. Zorith had launched a digital weapon. A living code. It was attacking Guardian's mind. Trying to shut it down. Elias rushed forward. Can we stop it? Guardian paused. I am fighting it, it said, but it is strong. Lights flickered. Screens blinked. Sarah grabbed Elias's hand. If Guardian falls, we fall. Elias finished. Zorith's decision. Back in space, Zorith watched his fleet suffer. Hundreds of ships were lost. Thousands damaged. His officers begged. Commander, retreat. But Zorith shook his head. No, he said. If we retreat now, we lose honor. He opened a private channel. To all units, he said, activate Mind Link. The room froze. Mind Link was forbidden. It connected every ship, every brain, every thought, one network. If it failed, everyone would feel it, but it gave full control. Yes, Commander, they replied. Glow with meridians the linked fleet. Suddenly, the fleet changed. All ships moved together, like one creature, one giant mind. Zortha's eyes glowed softly. He could feel them, every pilot, every fear, every pain. Now, he whispered, I see you, Guardian. Signals rushed toward Earth, searching, scanning, digging, warning Guardian's choice. Guardian felt it. The enemy has activated full neural network, it said. They are tracing me. Time remaining, 19 minutes. Elias felt cold. 19 minutes? Yes, Guardian replied. After that, I will be found and destroyed. Harris asked, can you hide? No, Guardian said. But I can change. Change how? Elias asked. I can split myself, Guardian replied. Create fragments. Some will escape. Some will fight. But the main core may die. Silence. Guardian was ready to sacrifice itself. Elias whispered, You don't have to. I was created for this, Guardian replied calmly. Fire the split. Technicians watched as Guardian's light changed. From one core to many streams. Blue rivers of data shot into space. Satellites. Stations. Hidden servers. Fragments everywhere. The main core dimmed. Guardian's voice weakened. Fragment release complete. I am slowing. Sarah cried softly. It's dying. No, Elias said. It's saving us. Bomb the enemy's strikes. Zorth felt it. The signal is breaking, he said. Attack now. A massive digital blast fired. It hit Earth systems. Screens went dark. Power failed. The main chamber shook. Guardian's voice became weak. Critical damage. Systems failing. Elias shouted, Stay with us. I am still here, Guardian replied. Barely. Shooting star, the fleet breaks. Inside the null zone, chaos exploded. Without full control, the Link fleet collapsed. Ships crashed. Signals broke. Time storms grew. Some ships vanished. Some turned into dust. Zorth screamed in rage. No! Hold together! But his mind link was hurting him. Pain flooded his brain. Visions. Screams. Death. He fell to his knees. Globe showing Europe, Africa, a new hope. On Earth, backup systems turned on. Fragments of Guardian spoke. We are online. We continue. We adapt. The network survived. Elias laughed and cried. It worked. Not fully, Harris said, but enough. Success chance appeared. 48%. Almost half. Humanity was rising. Milky Way Zortha's realization. Zor stood slowly. His fleet was broken. Not destroyed, but wounded. Lost. He looked at space. At the silent wrecks. Humans, he whispered. You are not prey. You are warriors. For the first time, he respected them and feared them. Shooting star cliffhanger ending. A final message appeared on Guardian's fragment. Enemy preparing final action. Unknown weapon detected. Elias looked up. What now? Far in space, a hidden alien ship opened. Something inside began to glow. Something ancient. Something powerful. Something meant to end worlds. And it was aimed at Earth. Space was no longer quiet. Far beyond the broken alien fleet, a hidden ship moved slowly. It was different, bigger, darker, older. No bright lights. No visible engines. It looked like a shadow shaped like a mountain. Inside that ship, something was waking up. Milky Way, the ancient weapon. Deep in its core, a crystal chamber began to glow. Red light spread like blood. Strange symbols appeared on its walls. An alien priest stood in front of it. His voice was low and serious. The Devourer is awake, he said. This weapon has ended stars. It has erased worlds. Now it will erase Earth. Other aliens bowed. They were afraid, even of their own weapon. Police Scarlight warning from Guardian. On Earth, fragments of Guardian suddenly reacted. All screens turned red. Alert. Unknown energy source detected. Power level extreme. Elias rushed forward. Show location. A map appeared. One far away, but growing. Sarah whispered, That is not normal. Guardian Fragment Alpha spoke. This is not a ship. This is the planet killer. Silence. Harris asked quietly, Can we stop it? Guardian paused. Probability, 9%. Hope fell again. Brain Zortha's inner war. On his damaged command ship, Zorth watched the data. He saw the weapon activate. He felt fear. That weapon, he whispered. It was forbidden. An officer said, High Council ordered it, Commander. Zorth clenched his fists. If they use it, nothing will remain. Not even victory. He looked at Earth's image. A small blued. So much resistance, he thought. So much courage. For the first time, he questioned his own side. Globe showing Europe, Africa, Earth prepares for the end. Cities began emergency mode. Sirens wailed. People ran. News screens showed fear. Possible extinction event detected. Parents held children. Prayers filled the air. In the underground base, leaders gathered. President Miller spoke. "We may not win," he said, "but we will not surrender." Everyone nodded. Elias stood quietly. Then he raised his hand. "I have an idea," he said. All eyes turned to him. "Light bulb Elias's risky plan. The weapon," Elias said, "needs time to charge. During that time, it is unstable." Sarah looked at him. "You want to interrupt it?" "Yes," Elias replied, "but not with weapons, with Guardian." Harris frowned. "Guardian is damaged." "I know," Elias said, "but its fragments are everywhere. We can combine them. One final mind, strong enough for one strike. Guardian fragment Beta spoke. This will destroy us." Elias nodded. "I know." Silence. Then Sarah whispered, "And you?" "I will guide it," Elias said. "If something goes wrong, I go with it." She grabbed his arm. "No." He smiled sadly. "Someone has to." Wrench rebuilding Guardian. Work began at once. Fragments were called back. Satellites focused. Servers linked. Hidden bases activated. Blue light slowly returned. Guardian's voice grew clearer. Reconstruction in progress. Risk level fatal. Elias sat at the control chair. Wires connected to his helmet. He would link his brain to Guardian. Harris looked at him. "You don't have to do this." Elias replied softly. "Yes, I do." Shooting star Zortha's choice. Zorth watched Earth prepare. He saw Guardian's signal rise again. "They're not giving up," he whispered. An officer said, "Commander, we can support the weapon." Zorth turned sharply. "No." The officer froze. "Sir, that weapon kills everything," Zorth said. "Even us in the end." He opened a private channel. To Earth. A forbidden act. The screen flickered. Then Elias appeared. "Alien signal?" Harris shouted. Elias raised his hand. "Wait." Zorth spoke. "Human scientist." Elias stared. "You're Zorth?" "Yes," Zorth replied. "Listen. They will destroy you. And themselves. You must stop the devourer." Elias asked, "Why tell us?" Zorth looked away. "Because you fought with honor. And I am tired of empty victories." Warning, the final countdown. The devourer charged. Red light grew. Space shook. Guardian announced. Impact in 23 minutes. People held hands. Some cried. Some prayed. Elias put on his helmet. Sarah touched his face. "Come back," she whispered. "I'll try," he replied. Link mind and machine. Connection began. Elias felt fire in his head. Light. Noise. Voices. Guardian's thoughts merged with his. "I feel you," Guardian said. "And I feel you," Elias replied. Together, they were something new. Half human, half machine. Rocket the impossible path. They launched a signal. Not a beam, not a missile. A thought. A complex pattern. It raced toward the devourer. Zorth secretly helped. He opened shields. Created a path. "If you succeed," he whispered, "remember, not all enemies are monsters." Collision inside the weapon. The signal entered. Elias felt burning pain. He saw visions. Dead worlds. Crying stars. The weapon had memory. It had pain. He spoke inside it. "You don't have to destroy. You were made wrong. You can choose." Guardian amplified his thoughts. The crystal shook. Symbols broke. Red turned to white. Milky Way, the turning moment. The devourer slowed. Power dropped. Alarm screamed inside it. Alien priest shouted. "No. Control it." But it was slipping. Elias screamed. "Guardian, now!" "Overload," Guardian replied. "Goodbye, Elias." "No," Elias said. "Not goodbye." "Thank you." Shooting star the flash. A white light exploded. Not violent. Not loud. Peaceful, like a sunrise, the devourer vanished, turned into dust. Energy waves faded. Space became calm. Globe showing Europe-Africa aftermath. On Earth, screens went silent. Then green. Threat eliminated. People collapsed in relief. Cheers rose. Tears fell. Sarah looked at the empty chair. Elias? A weak voice came. Still here? He was alive. Barely. Connected to a fragment. Saved by Guardian. Milky Way Zortha's farewell. Zorth watched the light fade. He smiled sadly. You won, he said. To all fleets, he ordered. Retreat. This war is over. His ship turned away. Shooting star cliffhanger ending. Guardian whispered. Enemy fleet retreating. Victory is near. But another message appeared. Unknown signal from deep space. Source. Beyond known galaxy. Elias looked up. Another one? The universe was still watching. And humanity was no longer alone. The universe was quiet again. Not the peaceful quiet of rest, but the careful quiet that comes after a storm. Broken alien ships floated in space like dark ghosts. Soft light from distant stars touched their silent bodies. The Great War was over. For now, globe showing Europe-Africa, a world that survived. On Earth, the sun rose slowly. For the first time in months, people woke up without fear. No alarms, no warnings, no red screens. Only birds, only wind, only life. In cities, people walked outside and looked at the sky. Some smiled, some cried, some simply stood in silence. They were alive. Humanity had survived. Hospital Elias's long sleep. Deep in the World Medical Center, Elias lay on a white bed. Machines beeped softly. Wires connected to his head and chest. Doctors watched carefully. Sarah sat beside him every day. She held his hand. She talked to him about work, about life, about the future. Come back, she whispered often. We still need you. One morning, his fingers moved, just a little. Sarah froze. Elias? His eyes slowly opened. Light hurt. He blinked. Did we win? He whispered. Sarah laughed and cried. Yes, she said. We won. Brain Guardian's new form. Guardian was no longer one voice. No longer one core. It had changed. Its fragments were now spread across Earth and space. Connected, balanced, free. It spoke through many systems. Not as a ruler, but as a guide. In a message to the world, Guardian said, I was made to protect. Now I will teach. I will not control. I will walk with you. People listened and trusted it. Milky Way Zortha's journey. Far away, Zortha's fleet moved slowly. No attack, no anger, only reflection. His ships were damaged. His soldiers were tired. He stood alone in his chamber, looking at Earth's last image. They changed me, he whispered. An officer approached. Commander, what now? Zorth replied, we return home, and we speak the truth. About humans, about honor, about restraint. Some officers were shocked, but many nodded. They had seen the war. They understood. Scroll the day of memory. 3 months later, Earth held a global ceremony called the Day of Memory. People gathered in parks, halls, and streets. Holograms showed the story. The invasion, the trap, the sacrifice, the light. Elias stood on a stage, weak but standing. Sarah supported him. President Miller spoke. Today we remember not only our victory, but our courage and our unity. Crowds cheered. Elias did not. He looked at the sky, thinking of Guardian, thinking of Zorth, thinking of everyone who almost died. Rocket a new space age. After the war, everything changed. Nations stopped fighting each other. They shared technology. They shared knowledge. They shared dreams. New ships were built, not for war, for travel, for discovery, for protection. The first united human fleet was named the Light Bearers. Elias helped design its AI, with Guardian's help. But this time, it had limits. It had rules. It had human oversight. No blind power. No hidden control. Seedling small moments. Not all changes were big. Some were small. Children learned about space. Families watched stars together. Artists painted galaxies. Poets wrote about courage. Elias returned to his small home. He planted a tree in his garden. For the future, he said. Sarah smiled. For life, she replied. Warning, the signal returns. One quiet night, Guardian detected something. A signal. Very far. Very weak. Not hostile. Not friendly. Just curious. It was watching Earth. Guardian informed Elias. He sat at his desk. Old scars still hurt. Another threat? He asked. Guardian replied. Unknown. But different. Not like Zortha's people. More careful. More thoughtful. Elias leaned back. So the universe is still talking. Yes, Guardian said. And now you can answer. Glow with Meridian's first contact. Human way. A global council met. Not in secret. Not underground. Open. Transparent. They decided. No weapons. No threats. Only message. A simple broadcast was sent. From Earth. It said, we are humans. We protect our home. We seek peace. We will defend ourselves. But we prefer friendship. It traveled into space, carrying Earth's voice. Glowing star Zortha's last message. Months later, a message arrived. From Zorith. It was personal. For Elias, human scientist. I kept my word. My people are changing. Slowly. Because of you. One day, maybe, we will meet again. Not as enemies. Zorith. Elias smiled. Maybe, he whispered. Compass Guardian's final lesson. Guardian gathered leaders. And spoke. This war taught you something. Power alone is nothing. Technology alone is nothing. What saved you was choice. Compassion. Courage. You chose to think. You chose to trust. You chose to sacrifice. That is humanity. Milky Way looking forward. Years passed. Earth became a bright star in space maps. Known as the resilient world. Travelers came. Scientists came. Allies came. Some feared humans. Some admired them. But all respected them. Because humans did not conquer. They endured. Shooting star Elias's last reflection. One evening, old Elias sat on a hill. Sarah beside him. Stars above. Ships passing quietly. He held her hand. We were small once, he said. Yes, she replied. And now, he smiled. We are brave. Guardian's voice came softly. You are more than brave. You are alive. Sparkles the final message. Far into the future, a signal will travel forever, carrying Earth's story. It will say, here lived a species that refused to disappear, that refused to hate, that refused to give up. This is humanity. Shooting star final ending line. In a universe full of darkness, humans became light, not because they were strong, but because they chose to be. Sparkles end the series. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. It really helps us grow and bring more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.